The Rich and Mike Show, Flagler County's hometown sports show. Here are your hosts, Rich Carroll and Mike Licio.
Yes, it's another episode of the Rich and Mike Sports Show. Good Saturday morning, Flagler County. And a good Saturday morning to you, Mike Licio.
Hello, Flagler County. Rich, it's almost the start of the school year, and that means it's the start of the sports calendar.
Yeah, August 11th, the school year starts. Monday, August 11th, which is, when I went to school, Mike, which is, about 1 million years ago, sometimes it feels like, we started in September, oddly enough. It seems like every year the school year starts earlier and earlier and earlier. Is that a good thing?
I always felt like I got cheated out of a couple weeks of summer vacation when I moved to Florida in 1992, because that year school got out here about 3 or 4 days earlier than it did in New York. But in New York, school started the week after Labor Day, and that year it started like the third week of August. But it has definitely started creeping back. August 11th is so early. It's so soon. But you know what? I can't wait to get back to having some sports to cover, and that's so I'll take it. I'm not in school anymore, so it can start as early as it wants now.
Yeah, we got football, Potato Bowl coming up on Friday, August 22nd on News Radio WNZF, and the whole football season. So we are looking forward to that. And I know we talk about it every single week, but I think that's just, it gets the season started, right? We're back at it, and we've had a little bit of a summer vacation here, but I look at the date, Mike, we're less than a month away from football starting. So it creeps up on you. It gets here quick.
And as of the airing of this show, we're about 36 hours from, maybe a little more than that, about 42 hours from the beginning of fall practice for the football teams. But before that, there's still some summer things to clean up. FPC's boys and girls soccer teams have been competing in 7-on-7. If you don't know what 7-on-7 is, it's 6 players a side and then a goalkeeper on each side. Smaller goals, smaller field. So it's like, I don't know the exact dimensions, but roughly 60 by 30 field. So it's a little bit more high offensive oriented and a little more high tempo. At 8 o'clock on Saturday, by now this will have aired, but FPC's ladies are competing for the league championship, so they'll be doing that. And the FPC boys are leading their group as well. So we had even though we didn't have actual official school sports, we still do have some sports going on. And it's been honestly, Rich, it's been a pretty busy summer considering how usually the summers go. It's been a pretty busy summer. We had a lot going on in Flagler County, as you know, from the morning sports. We've done a lot of local stories even through the summer. So it's been a lot of fun.
And that's a credit to you getting out there and witnessing these games and being a part of it and getting the audio. And I'm sure the audience and the radio station, we all appreciate all the hard work you've continued to do, even in the off season.
Well, I just love to do it, and we're very fortunate that we've had a lot of people get, college commitments over the summer, people who've gone out, and like Nia Williams going out and winning a national weightlifting competition, and Kendall Bibla and Mariah Mills being named Wrestling All-American. So we've had a lot of that kind of stuff going on too. But as we talk about 7-on-7 soccer, which is probably going to be the end of what we would call the off season, the summer season for these teams, we had Natalie Neal, who is the goalkeeper for FPC. She's a senior. She has going to be a 4-year starter now. She started as a freshman. She was all area first team as a sophomore. She's been all area a few times in her career. And they had a game scheduled for last Saturday that got canceled, and Natalie never got the message. And so she got there, and Coach Kat Bradley, the JV coach, said, well, why don't you play in the field for the JV? And then it got even more interesting from there because she stuck around for the boys' games, the FPC boys' games, and ended up doing a little more than that. And I'm not going to spoil it. I'm going to let you hear it because I think this is a really cool story. So without further ado, let's hear from Natalie Neal on her cool weekend last weekend. Our guest today on the Rich and Mike Sports Show is FPC goalkeeper Natalie Neal. Natalie, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
How has your summer been going so far?
It's been good. I've been lifting and running a lot, so it's been interesting.
I know you've been getting into some 7-on-7, some club soccer. How's that been going for you?
It's been good. We currently are in first place. I think our team's been doing very good. My club hasn't started yet, but we do start soon. But currently it's going very good. My club coaches are always going to the 7v7 games, which is good for them to see.
You've been playing 7v7. You've got a big championship game on Saturday morning. Last weekend, you actually didn't have a game, but I guess everybody knew that but Natalie. So tell us kind of what happened there.
So, I woke up and apparently my messages weren't working. So I never got any messages from the night before. And that's when they sent it out. So I woke up and I look at my phone and I'm already late. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I text the group chat. I'm like, hey, guys, I'm going to be late, maybe 10 minutes. And I didn't even look at what they sent before. So I never saw the message that she sent out. So I show up at the fields and I'm like, where is everybody at? And our JV team was playing and Coach Kat was there with Von Glon and Coach Maddie. And they're like, did you not know? And I said, no, what? We don't have a game today? What do you mean? There is a game. We're playing Matanzas. And they're like, no, they forfeited. And I said, are you actually serious right now? Are you serious? So then she's like, do you want to play for our team and on the field? And I said sure, because I'm always looking to get more fitness and stuff. So I said sure. And I think they were playing Pedro Menendez, and she put me on the field, and I'm definitely not a field player, but I think I did pretty well for never playing on the field. I haven't played on the field in years.
So what was that like? What was going through your mind on the field? It's JV, so it's not the level of competition you're used to, especially you being a 3-year starter, about to be a 4-year starter. So it's what's going through your mind when you're out there on the field? You feel like you're getting back in the swing of things, or you're just hoping that you don't fall on your face, or?
I was hoping I didn't get a yellow card because I don't really know how to play on the field. So whenever I would lose the ball, I would just push the girl over, and they started laughing because I don't know how to play on the field. So I remember I lost the ball, so I just slid my leg underneath this girl just because and I didn't want to get a yellow. And the thing is, I think I fouled maybe 5 people and I never got a yellow. And the JV girls thought it was funny, but I was actually I wanted them to get a goal. So I was trying really hard for them to get a goal. I was getting frustrated, and I was telling the goalkeeper I fouled somebody right outside the box, and I ended up telling her, I was just get on the line, everybody make a wall. And I ended up I think I saved it. I had to stick my leg out and I saved the ball for her because I felt so bad because I kept fouling these girls because I didn't know how to play on the field. So I mean, it was fun, but at the same time, I really wanted them to get a goal.
Sounds like you've been hanging around Catherine Ouellette too much, because
yeah,
she breaks necks and cash checks, and sounds like that was kind of your philosophy out there on the field. So did you get any reps in goal this weekend?
I ended up, after the JV game, Coach Kat was like, are you going to watch the boys game? I said, yeah. And then Romteen, came over to me, goes, the St. Aug boys want you to play for them. And I was I look at them, I'm like, oh gosh, I don't want to play for you guys. Because boys are mean. Boys are very mean. They will tell you straight to your face that you suck. So I was I don't know, maybe. And I was trying to make excuses, saying oh, I don't have any of my stuff. I don't have a shirt. And the coach, the St. Aug coach, was like, we have a shirt for you. Just take your time, put your stuff on. And I was like, great. So then I said, yeah, I'll play. Why not? They were playing Matanzas, and the St. Aug boys there are actually very nice. They did.
Of course they are. I'll explain that in a minute.
Yeah. So then I went in goal, and I'm not even kidding. The first 5 minutes, this kid scores in top corner. I was like, great. This is what I have to deal with. But I think I did very good for not knowing these kids and being a girl on the team. And it started getting really intense. These boys started hitting each other. Some kid bit somebody, and I was like, great. Yeah. And then I remember last 20 minutes of the game, it was tied 5-5. And I actually really wanted to win. I'm very competitive. So I think it was a good change of playing with these guys. I think it was good practice and stuff, especially if I want to play at the next level. So it was very extreme. Definitely they were cussing at each other, hitting each other, and last 5 minutes, this kid on St. Augustine, he scored. And I remember they were all cheering and stuff, and I felt really great because I was I put in the work to help them win. And then it started getting really intense. All these boys just started hitting each other, a fight broke out. And I was now I'm like really scared. Like I'm scared that they're gonna hit me next. I think this one boy outside the box fouled somebody. So then there was a free kick for them, and we like built a wall and stuff. And I ended up saving the ball, and we ended up winning 6-5. I don't know how. Like I told the coach, I told him before the game, I was like, I apologize for anything, because I'm like, I've never played, like I've played with boys before in like a practice setting, but never a game setting. So I was like, I don't know like what the change of play is. So I'm a little scared to play, but honestly, it was really fun. And like, I had a good time, but I think if Coach Held heard this, like he would have a heart attack, to be honest. It's definitely like, I don't know, frowned upon, I feel like, but I think it was fun and I would do it again.
I have to admit, I am a proud alum of St. Augustine High School, so that's the full disclosure. I would expect nothing less than quality conduct from the boys at St. Augustine High School. So welcome to the family as an honorary Yellow Jacket. I mean, that's really cool. And I guess, you know, as a goalkeeper, you've got to know what's going on in front of you with your defense. So I'm sure that was a challenge, having a whole bunch of defenders in front of you that you're the last line of defense. Obviously, you know that as the goalkeeper, that by now you know where your girls are going to be on an attack. When an attack's coming your way, you know where they're going to be. So just part of that probably was a little bit challenging too, I would imagine.
Yeah, definitely. They did very good. They were like, if I made a save, they would hype me up. And like, if they scored, they were like, there's no way like anybody saving that. So they were very sweet, but also they were like very technical and very good. Like they knew how to like play out of the back really fast, which was really nice. And they knew how to talk to me. Even if they didn't know me, like they were great. And like, they like, I don't know, boys are just like very extreme. So like, it was like, I feel like it was kind of easier to play with them, just because it was such a fast-paced game. And I'm pretty used to like a fast-paced game, but like it was very extreme.
Well, there were some games last year where your team was doing so well on the front end, scoring goals, that there was one game, I can't remember which one, and actually I can remember which one, I'm not going to call the school out, where I felt like in the second half you could have sat in goal doing your homework for the entire second half. I think you had one shot against you in the first half and then none in the second half, and I'm sure you remember which game I'm talking about. So it must have been a nice change of pace to, I guess if you had to do that every week, it probably wouldn't be fun, but you know, to have a little bit of change of pace where you had a lot of action, I'm sure that was a lot of fun too.
Yeah, it definitely was. I do like a good, like, fast-paced game. I'm very competitive. I like to win. Like, I step on the field and I want to win immediately. And, like, I'm very aggressive in goal. And I think that just becomes of me being competitive. But I don't like sitting in goal and stuff. So, like, I always tell my coach, please put me on the field. Like, I want to do something. Like, put me on, like, up top or something. Like, I'm so bored back here. And he always says no because he thinks I'm going to get hurt. And probably with the way I play in the field, definitely I'll probably get hurt. But I always tell them, I'm like, I want to go in the field or something. Like, this is boring. Like, but I feel like once in a while, like a really fast-paced game is like something I really need, because if I do want to play in the next level, like playing at those high-paced games are very good for you.
So that's a good transition into your senior year. You've been a 3-year starter. In fact, a lot of the juniors and seniors upcoming this year, y'all had to play very early. You started as a freshman. A lot of the juniors were pressed into service their freshman year. So how much is that experience together, having been on the varsity together, played all these games together, that a lot of kids going into their senior year don't have that kind of core group that's had that much experience? How much do you feel like that helps you coming into the season?
I feel like it really does help you a lot, because I've known these girls for a while. I haven't known them for like a very long time, but I feel like over the past maybe 3 years, it's very nice playing with them. They know exactly like what to do. They know the style of play. And I actually just switched my club team in Jacksonville to Ormond, and pretty much all of them play in Ormond. So it's like, I feel like it's good team bonding to get better for high school, and we all admitted it. But I feel like they know the style of play so good that everything is just fast paced. Like, we know how to connect with each other. And it's good going into my senior year, having a team that knows what they're doing and like the style of play.
You had a pretty good core coaches, you know, Coach Held, of course, Coach Cat, Coach Paulo was there the last few years. What have they meant to your development at the high school level?
Coach Paulo, he taught me a lot. He taught me coming out is very important. He was a very good coach. I'm very sad to see him leaving, but I had a lot of fun working with him. And Coach Kat definitely has helped me a lot with colleges. She's been helping me with St. Leo and Embry-Riddle, Daytona State too. She'll email them for me. I ask her, I'm like, hey, like, can you email a college for me? And she says, absolutely. She knows a lot of colleges. I don't know how she knows a lot of colleges, but she does. And it's very helpful. And Coach Howell's so important to me, because he gets on to me. Like, he gives me a hard time a lot of of times, like, I can give him like an attitude and he gives it right back to me, because I feel like we haven't like always gotten along, but he does care about me and I do care about him. I feel like he does a lot for me. But like in the weight room, like I can be lifting like 105 pounds and he's like, why didn't you do 110? So he always like puts me at my best level. I feel like he gives me a hard time for a reason, because like he thinks I can do better all the time, like constantly doing better. And I feel like I really improved with him like the past couple of years. Even though he doesn't know a lot about goalkeeping, he does know a little bit because he's been doing this for so long. So I feel like he'll get on to me about some things, but he knows I care a lot. I remember there was this one game during the season, I started bawling my eyes out because we lost. Because like if we lose, I will cry because I get so worked up about losing, because I do like to win. I'm very competitive. But I remember I was crying and he was like, I hate to see her cry like that. She does really, really care. And I feel like him knowing that just like makes everything better with his coaching with me.
You mentioned Daytona State, St. Leo, Embry-Riddle. Who else is on the short list?
Embry-Riddle is my top school. I really want to go to Embry-Riddle. Daytona State, Florida Tech, St. Leo, and then I got a $20,000 scholarship from a school in Kansas, I think Ottawa University. Those are pretty much like all my like main schools I really want to go to, and I am in like contact with all of them, so which is really nice. I do want to stay in Florida, but I do want to play at that D2 level. I think it's very competitive, and I did go on to a college visit with Embry-Riddle, I think in like March, and it was very competitive. Like a lot of them are international players, so they're very tough. And like I think one girl was like 6'2" as a defender, and I was like blown away. Like it was like their style of play was just so fast and quick. It was insane. Like, but it was really fun, and the practice we did was very hard, but I think I did pretty well for what I was given.
Your predecessor was a successful Division II goalkeeper, Gabby Caladonio. Did you ever get to know Gabby at all?
Yeah, I did. I remember the Go to Goal camp, my first 2 years, she was working at it. She was working with the goalkeepers, and I think this is right after she graduated. So she was already going to her college. Either that or she still had one more year left. I remember I worked with her 2 years straight, and she was very nice. Like, she's a very good goalkeeper, very experienced. I think she used to play at my old club. She used to play for Florida Elite. She is a very good goalkeeper.
Do you have any goals for your senior year? Anything you'd like to accomplish both on the pitch and off?
I do want to make first team all area, because I mean, I was first team all area my sophomore year, and then I got second team all area like my junior year. So I want to make first team this year. And like, I feel like it sounds a little selfish, but that is a very big goal of mine. Like every time I'm like lifting or running, I feel like I just want it more than everybody else. I really do want to make first team all area, or like I do really want to commit to a school by the end of my senior year, because all the schools I really do like, they don't commit 2026s until 2026 starts. So I really do want to commit until my senior year ends. But that's probably my two goals, my main goals.
Well, Natalie, we appreciate you joining, and we'll be talking to you again soon, I'm sure, and we hope you have a great senior year.
Hey, thank you.
Wow, what a great interview. Mike Licio with Natalie Neal there. I feel like that should be turned into a movie somehow. What a weekend. Our reaction to the interview after this.
Thank you so much for recommending us to your family and friends. When you need a 30, 60, or 90-minute massage, it's real easy to book your appointment online. MassageByNatalie.org. MassageByNatalie.org.
Yeah, you know, Mike, I think that should be a movie somehow. There were two things she said in there I completely agree with. One, boys are weird. She was all over it, so she knows what she's talking about. Boys are weird. And two, the other thing is, I cry when I lose too, but it's usually a game of Madden online. You know, anytime I lose, I cry. So I also can identify with that. But no, great interview with Natalie Neal. That's the type of weekend you remember for the rest of your life. And it's amazing how things like that happen where you're not even expecting it. You didn't get a memo. If she had gotten that email, maybe she never shows up and this amazing experience never happens. So it's just one of those great stories that will last a lifetime, Mike.
Well, it was pretty cool to think about that. She, you know, like you said, what would she have done with her Saturday had she not gone to those games and to get that experience? And of course, you know, I had to shout out the St. Augustine high school boys for, you know, being gentlemen and being a great teammate and, you know, welcoming her in and making her feel comfortable. And, you know, but even the St. Augustine boys are weird. I tell my daughter all the time, don't talk to boys. Don't talk to boys.
Yes,
That's
great advice.
one of the things I say. All right, be safe. Don't talk to boys. That's what I tell her when she leaves the house. So, it was pretty cool. And, it's one of those things where I texted Coach Kat the other day and said, what's been going on with the girls? And she texted me back and I said, that's a story we all need to hear. So it was pretty cool to bring Natalie in. And, we really appreciate her taking the time because obviously, as we said, summer vacation is winding down and there's better things to do than hang out with Mike Licio. I can tell you that for sure.
I disagree with that. Mike, you're always the life of the party, Mike. You know that. So,
of course,
we look forward to hanging out with Mike Licio. Yeah, really great story. Covered it on the news yesterday morning, Flagler's Morning News. Of course, Mike Licio Sports Report every Monday and Friday between 6 and 9 on WNZF. So this was a great – this is the rest of the story, right? So we got more of it here this morning, and I thought it was great. Mike, are you ready to move on to some of the national stuff? Because
yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. We got
of,
some news going on.
A lot of big news
very
involving
eventful.
Our teams.
Yeah, very eventful couple days, to say the least, Thursday and Friday, huh?
Yeah. Yankees make a big trade. A New York Jet quarterback injured before the season starts. Shocking. We'll talk about that after this.
The 2025 NFL season is just around the corner, and we can't wait for you to be back at the bank. Your Jacksonville Jaguars are starting off the preseason going head-to-head with the Pittsburgh Steelers Saturday, August 9th. Be at the bank as the Jags take the field for the first time this season and grab your tickets for a 7 p.m. kickoff by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you soon, Jags fans.
Rich and Mike Sports Show on a Saturday morning. Yeah, Mike, a lot of big news. Let's start with the Jets because that's just tragic comedy right there. As we know, a big deal with the Jets a few years ago. Aaron Rodgers, the savior, coming to the Jets. Things are going to be different now. It's not Zach Wilson any longer. And he ruptures the Achilles, the first series into his Jets career and never really ever recovers. I mean, I guess he did recover physically and got on the field, but as an organization, they never recovered. The winning never happened. It just continued to be a tragic comedy. And of course, as anything with the Jets, Aaron Rodgers moves on, signs with the Steelers, and the Jets face him the first week of the season. So, of course, that happens. But, the Jets go out and they get Justin Fields, young guy, probably the most athletic quarterback in the NFL, has had minimal success, looked good with the Steelers last year, but lost his job to an ancient quarterback, right? So that's not good. But a lot of hope going into the season with the new head coach, with the new quarterback. And all of a sudden on Thursday, I'm seeing messages, New York Jet quarterback Justin Fields carted off the field. Something with the lower leg. And we just saw Aaron Rodgers. What are we thinking about with the lower leg? Are you kidding me? Could this really be happening? And it really wasn't. It was a dislocated toe. He's day to day. But, man, what was your reaction to that news before we knew what was actually going on?
Here we go again. That was my reaction because they made it sound like it was a Civil War triage situation where they basically cut his leg off on the field. The way everybody in the national media was panicking and local media was panicking. Then you find out it's a dislocated toe. He rode in the front of the cart, which makes sense because you're not going to make somebody walk a couple hundred yards to the building on a dislocated toe. So as much ado about nothing. But my first thought was, thinking back, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Chad Pennington, Vinny Testaverde, Jets quarterbacks getting injured that were supposed to have big splash years for the Jets. This is our year. And then Brett Favre, he didn't miss any games, but he was definitely not himself at the end of that year. Vinny Testaverde getting hurt on his Achilles on a running play in the first game of what was supposed to be a Super Bowl year. Chad Pennington's arm almost falling off, basically, the way he tore his rotator cuff. These are the kind of things that just seem to follow the Jets around. So I guess that's why you're ingrained to think automatically the worst on the first day of training camp when you hear your presumed starter is it leaving on a cart.
And, it's a situation where I know there are question marks with Justin Fields, but at least for me as a Jet fan, I'm excited to watch him play this year. He's the best runner of the football at the position in the NFL. You're talking about a guy that was drafted 11th overall in 2021, obviously by the Bears, and a lot of people thought maybe he could have been drafted earlier than that, out of Ohio State. I'm excited to watch this guy play, and it's not like we've seen other quarterbacks over the years now who didn't really have success early in their careers and have moved on to have success. And we've seen former Jet quarterbacks do that, whether it's Geno Smith or Sam Darnold. So at Baker Mayfield now you see going to other places and having success. So I'm actually really excited to watch Justin Fields play football this year under Aaron Glenn. And to hear that was just, it's like you said, here we go again. I can't believe this is happening, but it looks like he'll be fine, and we are going to get to see Justin Fields under center for the New York Jets coming up here at the start of the NFL season. So we got that going on, and the Yankees possibly hitting rock bottom, losing 2 out of 3 to the Blue Jays this week after getting swept by them before the All-Star break. As of Friday night, 4.5 back in the division, not looking good. Playing players all over the field out of position, but now the Yankees, they finally made their big move, Mike. They made that trade for the third baseman, and it is going to be Suarez from the Arizona. No, it's not. No, it's Ryan McMahon from the Colorado Rockies hitting .217 with 16 home runs and 35 RBIs. Yeah. Well, I hear he fields really well, Mike, and they've had their problems with that for sure. Yankees are awful, man.
Well, heaven knows they can't catch a baseball or throw it to the right base or execute anything defensively. They look like a little league team out there. It's embarrassing. But here's the really concerning thing. There's a lot of concerning things about McMahon. We talk about he's from Colorado. He's been in the Rocky his entire career. His career batting average splits between Colorado and outside of Colorado are 47 points difference. He's a .263 career hitter at Coors Field, a .216 hitter away. This year, .248 at Coors, 189 away, and they have about the same. He has 7 more plate appearances on the road, so he's had about as many opportunities. He has double the amount of home runs, double the amount of RBIs at home, and about the same amount of bats. So he seems to be a product of the ballpark. And not to make you feel any worse, Rich, but then when you break down, okay, well, what has he done at Yankee Stadium since he's not going to be in Coors Field anymore? Well, he's 3 for 23 in his career at Yankee Stadium, but he catches the ball.
He catches the ball, and they definitely need that left side of the infield. You have Anthony Volpe, who I believe leads the majors in errors right now, which is just incredible when you
and is dead last in everything else, by the way.
Yeah. So, but that's what drives me crazy here. Okay, McMahon can field the ball at third base, but his numbers are essentially Anthony Volpe numbers on the left side of the infield there, and that bottom of the order for the Yankees already has looked terrible here for about a month. So I don't know how much you're doing for yourself offensively. This is how the Yankees operate now. They're going to bargain basement hunt and hope that lightning strikes and this guy comes in and he's a lefty and he has a Yankee Stadium swing and he's picking it at third base. Oh, what brilliance from Brian Cashman, bringing in a guy that didn't cost as much as some of the other guys would, but man, you got all the returns for him. When a guy like Suarez, just as it's out there that he's available. He's a third baseman. We're talking about the New York Yankees here. Suarez is hitting .252, 36 home runs, 86 RBIs. You compare that to Ryan McMahon, .217, 16, and 35. I think it's outrageous. I don't know how when you got guys like Dominguez on the team, there's no room. How many outfielders can you possibly have on the roster? And then you got Spencer Jones tearing it up in the minors. You have pieces to go after a bigger piece with a better return, but instead we're still bargain basement hunting. You have a team with $300 million payroll that went into the season without a third baseman, 1 million outfielders, and 3 catchers. Yet Brian Cashman still has a job. So that's where this is the Yankees now, Mike.
It is, and McMahon, the numbers. The more you break them down, the worse. He hit .283 the month of May. He hit .237 in June. He's hitting .206 for the month of July. That does not sound like somebody gearing up for a big stretch run in August and September now, does it?
And as always, with the Yankees, and I'll, it's just not the franchise I grew up watching, the way they operate within the business of baseball. But as always, I hope I'm wrong, and we're a couple days away from a 15-game winning streak, and the Yankees looking like a World Series team. They look anything but right now. Have a great weekend, Flagler County. That's another episode of the Rich and Mike Sports Show.